South Korea, today a global powerhouse of technology and culture, but did you know its name goes back to ancient kingdoms and a poetic phrase, the land of the morning calm? It is a name that tells a story, a journey through millennia of history, conflict, and breathtaking resilience. From the bustling streets of Seoul, alive with the energy of K-pop and innovation, to the serene temples nestled in misty mountains, the identity of this nation is deeply woven into the very words used to describe it. We often hear South Korea, a name that seems purely geographical, a simple marker on a divided map. Yet behind this modern label lies a rich tapestry of dynasties, philosophies, and a profound sense of self that has endured through centuries of change. Today, the world looks to South Korea with a sense of wonder. Its companies build the ships that cross our oceans and the smartphones that connect our lives. Its films and music captivate audiences on every continent, a phenomenon known as the Hallyu or Korean wave. This extraordinary rise from the ashes of war to a position of global leadership is a testament to the spirit of its people. But to truly understand this nation, we must look beyond its modern achievements and journey back in time. We must explore the origins of its name, for in that story we find the heart of Korea itself, a story of continuity, of a culture that bends but never breaks, and of an identity that has been carefully preserved against all odds. This journey begins not with a line on a map, but with the ancient peoples who first settled this beautiful, rugged peninsula. It is a land of dramatic landscapes where towering granite peaks give way to fertile plains and a coastline dotted with thousands of islands. It was here, in this cradle of civilization, that the foundations of Korean identity were laid. The names of ancient kingdoms still resonate in the collective memory, each one a chapter in a long and often turbulent saga. To uncover why it is called South Korea, we must first understand the names that came before, names that spoke of greatness, of art, and of a unique cultural heritage that continues to thrive in the 21st century. So let us peel back the layers of time. Let us trace the path from ancient empires to a modern republic, from a name whispered by traders on the Silk Road to one that now commands respect on the world stage. The story of Korea's name is not merely a linguistic exercise. It is an exploration of what it means to be Korean. It is a narrative of survival, of artistic brilliance, and of an unyielding pride in a legacy that stretches back thousands of years. It is a story that helps us understand not just a place on a map, but the soul of a people who have shaped their destiny with remarkable courage and creativity. Our story begins in the mists of ancient history, long before the name Korea was known to the wider world. The earliest legendary kingdom, Joseon, is said to have been founded over 4,000 years ago. While shrouded in myth, its legacy established a crucial foundation for Korean identity, a sense of a distinct and ancient people inhabiting the peninsula. This was the dawn of Korean civilization, a time of bronze tools and early societal structures, laying the groundwork for the powerful states that would follow. The tales of Goryeo, passed down through generations, speak of a unified people with a shared origin, a concept that would become central to the Korean spirit throughout its long and often challenging history. Following the decline of Goryeo, the peninsula and its surrounding regions saw the rise of the three kingdoms, Goryeo, Baekje, and Silla. These were not just territories, but vibrant, competing civilizations, each with its own unique character and artistic achievements. Goryeo, a vast and martial kingdom to the north, was known for its formidable warriors and magnificent tomb murals depicting a dynamic society. Its people were fierce and independent, constantly pushing the boundaries of their domain. To the southwest, the kingdom of Baekje was a refined maritime power, celebrated for its delicate art, elegant architecture, and extensive trade links with China and Japan, acting as a crucial cultural bridge in East Asia. To the southeast lay Silla, a kingdom that was initially the most isolated but would eventually prove to be the most enduring. Silla was renowned for its stunning gold craftsmanship, exemplified by the magnificent crowns discovered in its royal tombs at Gyeongju. It was a society that deeply embraced Buddhism, building some of the most beautiful temples and statues the world has ever seen. For centuries, these three kingdoms vied for control of the peninsula, a period of intense rivalry but also of immense cultural exchange and development. It was during this era that the core elements of Korean culture, its language, its philosophies, and its artistic sensibilities, were truly forged in the crucible of competition and collaboration. Ultimately, it was Silla, through shrewd diplomacy and a strategic alliance with Tang China, that succeeded in unifying the peninsula in the 7th century. This unification marked a pivotal moment, creating a single political and cultural entity for the first time. The legacy of these ancient kingdoms is not just a matter of historical record, it is alive and well in modern Korea. The pride in Goryeo's strength, Baekje's artistry, and Silla's cultural brilliance continues to inspire Koreans today. These names represent the deep roots of a civilization that was already ancient and sophisticated long before it came to be known by its modern name. After nearly 3 centuries of unified Silla rule, a new dynasty emerged, one whose name would eventually echo across the globe. In the 10th century, the kingdom of Goryeo was established. Its name was a deliberate homage to the great northern kingdom of Goryeo, signaling an ambition to reclaim the glory and territory of that ancient powerhouse. The Goryeo dynasty would go on to rule the peninsula for almost 500 years. A period marked by extraordinary cultural achievements, most notably the invention of the world's first movable metal-type printing and the creation of the exquisite Celadon pottery, whose serene jade-green glaze is admired to this day. It was during the Goryeo period that the peninsula became a significant player in international trade. Merchants from the Arab world, China and beyond sailed to its ports, seeking its famed goods. These traders, traveling along the maritime Silk Road, needed a name for this prosperous land. They encountered the kingdom of Goryeo, and the name, pronounced by different tongues, began to morph. In the mouths of Persian and Arab traders, Goryeo became Korea or Korea. This name traveled westward with tales of a sophisticated land, rich in culture and valuable commodities like ginseng and finely crafted goods. The name's journey is a fascinating example of how connections between distant cultures are formed. As maps of the known world were drawn and redrawn by European cartographers in the late Middle Ages and the Renaissance, the name they used for this peninsula at the edge of Asia was the one they had learned from Silk Road traders. Kaoli, Korea, and eventually Korea began to appear on their charts. It is quite remarkable to think that the name by which most of the world knows the nation today is a 1,000-year-old legacy of international commerce, a testament to the Goryeo dynasty's outward-looking perspective and its engagement with the wider world. Therefore, when we say Korea, we are unknowingly paying tribute to the Goryeo dynasty. The name stuck, becoming the standard international term for the peninsula and its people. While subsequent dynasties would adopt different names for the state internally, the outside world continued to know it as Korea. This historical quirk means that the international name for the nation is rooted in this specific, brilliant period of its medieval history, a time of innovation and global connection that laid the groundwork for the country's modern identity as a trading nation. The name itself is a relic of the very first Korean wave. For centuries, despite changes in dynasties from Goryeo to Joseon, the peninsula remained a single, unified entity known to the world as Korea. This unity was shattered in the 20th century by the turmoil of global conflict. After 35 years of brutal Japanese colonial rule, which ended with Japan's defeat in World War II in 1945, the Korean people looked forward to independence with great hope. However, their destiny was not to be their own. The victorious Allied powers, primarily the Soviet Union and the United States, made a fateful decision to divide the peninsula for administrative purposes, to oversee the surrender of Japanese troops. A line was drawn across the 38th parallel, a seemingly arbitrary latitude that sliced through communities and landscapes. The Soviet Union was to occupy the north and the United States the south. This was intended to be a temporary measure, a short-term solution to a post-war logistical problem, but as the Cold War began to cast its long icy shadow across the globe, this temporary line hardened into a permanent ideological border. The two superpowers, with their opposing political systems, backed different Korean political factions in their respective zones, making reunification increasingly impossible. The dream of a single, independent Korea dissolved into the harsh reality of a nation divided against itself. On August 15, 1948, the Southern Zone, under American influence, formally declared its statehood. It adopted the name Daehan Minguk, which translates to the Republic of Korea. In response, just a few weeks later, on September 9, 1948, the Northern Zone, under Soviet influence, established the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. And so the world was introduced to South Korea and North Korea. These names were not chosen by the Korean people as a whole, but were born out of geopolitical division. They are names that speak of separation, of a wound that has yet to heal. The simple directional prefixes, South and North, became markers of a profound and tragic political schism. This division soon led to one of the most devastating conflicts of the 20th century. In 1950, the Korean War broke out, turning the Cold War hot and engulfing the peninsula in destruction. The war, which involved international forces, led by the United States on one side and China on the other, solidified the division and cemented the names South Korea and North Korea in the global consciousness. The names became synonymous with the two opposing sides of the ideological struggle. They are a constant, painful reminder of a unified nation torn in two by external forces, a division that persists to this very day. While the world commonly refers to the country as South Korea, its official name is Daehan Minguk. This name is profoundly significant and carries deep historical weight, reflecting the nation's aspirations for sovereignty and its democratic ideals. To understand it, we must break it down. Minguk means People's Nation or Republic, a clear declaration of a modern government founded on the will of its citizens, a stark contrast to the centuries of dynastic rule that preceded it. This part of the name, adopted in 1948, signifies a commitment to democracy and popular sovereignty, principles that the nation has fought hard to uphold throughout its modern history. The first part of the name, Daehan, is even more fascinating and connects modern Korea directly to its ancient past. It means Great Han. This Han does not refer to the Han Chinese, but to three ancient Proto-Korean confederacies known as the Samhan, or Three Han, which existed in the southern part of the peninsula around 2,000 years ago. By the late 19th century, during a period of burgeoning nationalism and resistance to foreign encroachment, the Joseon dynasty was briefly renamed Daehan Minguk, or the Great Han Empire. This was a deliberate act to assert Korea's independence and its historical status as an entity equal to the empires of China and Japan. When the founders of the new republic were choosing a name in 1948, they looked back to this powerful symbol of sovereignty. By choosing Daehan Minguk, they were doing two things at once. They were reviving the proud, independent spirit of Daehan Minguk, while replacing the imperial concept of Minguk with the democratic ideal of Minguk. The name, therefore, is a masterful blend of the ancient and the modern. It declares that this new republic is the legitimate heir to the long and proud history of the Korean people, the Great Han, while also firmly planting its future in the soil of democracy. So, when Koreans refer to their country as Daehan Minguk, they are invoking a powerful sense of national identity. It is a name that encapsulates a journey from ancient tribal confederacies to a modern democratic republic. It is a statement of pride in a unique heritage and a declaration of the principle that the nation belongs to its people. It is far more than a simple label. It is a constitution in miniature, a rich and resonant name that tells the story of a people who have reclaimed their history and taken charge of their own destiny, establishing a great nation for all its people. Alongside its official and common names, Korea is often known by a beautiful and evocative nickname, the land of the morning calm. This poetic phrase conjures images of mist-covered mountains at dawn, of serene temples, and a sense of timeless tranquility. It seems to capture a certain spiritual essence of the country, a peacefulness that can still be found in its natural landscapes and traditional arts. But where did this enchanting name come from? Interestingly, it is not a name that Koreans traditionally used for themselves, but one that originated from the observations of their powerful neighbors, the Chinese. The name is derived from the characters used in the ancient Chinese name for the Joseon dynasty, which ruled Korea from 1392 to 1897. The characters for Joseon can be interpreted poetically. Jo can mean morning and Seon can mean fresh or serene. Scholars and envoys from Ming China, looking eastward toward the Korean peninsula, would have seen the sun rising over its beautiful mountainous terrain. The name Joseon thus came to be associated with this image of fresh morning light and tranquility. It was a description that beautifully captured the natural splendor of the peninsula as seen from the outside. This poetic interpretation was popularized in the West by writers and missionaries in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. One of the most influential was Percival Lowell, an American author who wrote a book titled Chosen, the Land of the Morning Calm in 1885. His work introduced this romantic and somewhat idealized image of Korea to the English-speaking world. The name resonated with Western audiences, offering a picture of a serene, ancient and secluded kingdom, a stark contrast to the rapidly industrializing West. It became a popular and enduring moniker, shaping the international perception of Korea for generations. While the name Land of the Morning Calm might seem at odds with the dynamic, fast-paced reality of modern South Korea, it remains a cherished part of the country's identity. It speaks to a deeper, more enduring aspect of the Korean spirit, a love of nature, a capacity for contemplation, and a cultural heritage steeped in harmony and aesthetic beauty. Today, the phrase serves as a beautiful counterpoint to the nation's technological prowess. It reminds both Koreans and the world that beneath the surface of this bustling economic powerhouse lies an ancient soul, a land that still holds the quiet beauty of the morning calm. From the ancient echoes of Joseon to the global recognition of Goryeo, and from the painful division of the Cold War to the proud declaration of Daehan Minguk, the names of Korea tell a story of extraordinary resilience. The name South Korea, born from the tragedy of division and solidified in the fires of the Korean War, became known worldwide as a symbol of the struggle against communism. For decades, it represented a nation on the front line of a global ideological conflict, a country fighting for its very survival. The name was forged in hardship, a constant reminder of a family torn apart. Yet this name has been completely redefined over the past 70 years. From the rubble of war, South Korea has built a nation that is nothing short of a miracle. The miracle on the Han River saw it transform into one of the world's largest economies, a leader in shipbuilding, electronics, and automotive industries. This economic success has been followed by an unprecedented wave of cultural influence. The name South Korea is now associated not just with conflict, but with artistic innovation, cinematic excellence, and music that tops global charts. It has become a brand synonymous with quality, creativity, and relentless forward momentum. The story of its name is a powerful lesson in how identity is shaped, lost, and reclaimed. The common name, South Korea, reflects a geopolitical reality, but the official name Daehan Minguk asserts a deeper historical truth and a commitment to a democratic future. The poetic name Land of the Morning Calm speaks to an enduring cultural soul that values beauty and harmony. Together, these names provide a complete picture of a complex and fascinating nation. They show how a people can hold on to their ancient traditions while embracing the future with astonishing energy and ambition, turning a name born of division into a symbol of incredible success. Ultimately, the name of South Korea in all its forms is a testament to the indomitable spirit of the Korean people. It represents a history of overcoming immense adversity, a culture of profound depth and beauty, and an unwavering pride in a unique and ancient heritage. It tells the world that this is a nation that remembers its past, thrives in the present, and looks to the future with boundless hope and confidence. The name is a story of resilience, a celebration of culture, and a declaration of pride that continues to unfold. If this story gave you new insight, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Which country's name should we uncover next? Drop your suggestion below.